it's Ashley at Hedrick Homestead, and today we're going to be talking about the different types of chicken feed. So there are a few different types of typical poultry feed: starter, grower, and layer. And we're going to talk a little bit about the differences and when you're going to want to feed what type. All right, so let's start with starter feed. Starter feed has the highest protein because it's designed for little baby chicks that are growing a ton. So normally it's somewhere between 20 and 22% protein. And that's gonna give them that extra boost right for their first little bit of life. Now, I normally feed my laying hen breeds starter feed until they're about 5 to 8 weeks old. And for my meat birds, my broiler chickens, I feed them starter feed until they're about 3 weeks old. That's when I move them from the brooder out into the field. And that's when I transition them to the next type of feed, which is grower feed. So grower feed is the type of chicken feed that you feed after you're done with starter. Now this is gonna be slightly lower protein, but still have quite a bit. So that's between about 18 to 20% protein. And that is going to continue your chicken's growth, even though it's not quite as fast as those early stages when you need that super high protein. And it's not meant for laying, so there's nothing in there for that. It's just meant for growth and sustaining your chickens. So for my laying hens, this would be something that I would feed normally between the ages of about 2 months old to the point that they are laying eggs. For my broiler chickens, I would transition them to a grower feed at about 3 weeks old to the point that we then process them. So that's pretty much the entire time that they are out on pasture. Then we go to layer feed. Now, as the name suggests, you never feed your broiler chickens layer feed. They're just on starter and grower their entire short lives. But our laying chickens get layer feed starting at about 20 weeks of age, or whenever you think your chickens are gonna start laying, and you'll feed them that through the rest of their lives. Now, what's different about layer feed? It's gonna have less protein because your chickens are done growing, so it's probably gonna be about 16, 17% protein. And it's gonna have higher calcium to support your laying hens' high egg production, or hopefully high egg production. Now, an important thing to keep in mind when you're transitioning from all these different types of feed, there is no reason that you need to waste any feed. So let's say your broiler chickens are 3.5, 4 weeks old and you still have starter. Don't worry about it. Finish the bag of starter, then move on to the grower feed. Or if your laying hens are like 10 weeks old and you're like, I still have 2 weeks left of my starter feed and I know I'm supposed to transition them to grower. Again, don't worry about it. Finish the feed. It's not that big a deal. And then go on to the next stage. This conversation wouldn't be complete without a short little snippet on supplements. All chickens need grit in order to process their feed. Those are little rocks. They're used in the chicken's digestive tract to grind grain. So your chicks and your pullets and your meat birds and your adult laying hens should all get grit. There is chick grit for smaller chicks, and there is then full-size grit also for your chickens and your laying hens and your larger broilers. And the other supplement to keep in mind for your laying hens would be a calcium supplement. I feed oyster shell to my chickens, and that helps give them that calcium boost even beyond what's in their feed and keep their eggshells nice and thick. Other than that, those are the only supplements I provide to my chickens on a regular basis. So you don't need anything else. You can buy those in bulk, big bags. They're not gonna expire. Rock doesn't expire. And feed it to them. A big 50-pound bag will last you many years with a small flock. I hope that helps answer your question about chicken feed and when you should feed starter, grower, and layer to your flock. Till next time.